July the 4th, 2025, guys. Happy 4th. I hope everyone has a very safe weekend. It's been a kind of marathon week here on the channel with most of you guys watching what's going on in the swamp. And right now it's all going good. I think we're going to iron out the kinks in that bill. And the first thing that I was glad to see happen was the AI section taken out. There's some things that need to be changed, but at least we're moving forward with it. And I think the biggest point that the Republicans had, guys, was that for 4 years, Biden basically raided the treasuries, especially after the election in 2024. But and that the fact that the country was about to go broke on purpose. It was planned and designed that way to take our nation down. And then you got these creeps like Hakeem Jeffries and all coming in and doing the filibuster. But guys, there's a video out of back in it was 2021, excuse me, with Hakeem Jeffries was protesting. One of the Republicans was having a filibuster. I can't remember if it was Matt Gaetz. I can't remember. Anyway, Hakeem Jeffries in the video said, "This filibuster is wrong. You shouldn't have them. It goes back to Jim Crow rules." And then look at what he did yesterday. The height of hypocrisy, and their father is the father of lies. And we're dealing with a spiritual battle on that level. Now, what we're looking at is a forming tropical storm. It's 60% chance of development now, but when you start to see this type of clouds in the middle with a fan feathering out, and you see the rotation coming in right here, guys, and being pulled in from all directions. Wind's coming this way to the center, this way to the center, and this way. So we have one. Let's take a look at it in the infrared. Now, again, it looks like it's on to me, and you've got a large section of very tall thunderstorms in the middle. Everything's pulling in there to that center. That's because Mother Nature is trying to cool everything off, get it into that center, pull it up into higher elevations, cool the air down, which cools the oceans, and keeps the earth from overheating. But what we got to be aware of is in yesterday's video, I talked about the danger of the rip currents from Florida to Georgia and through the Carolinas up into basically Virginia from this thing. So you got to be careful. I know it's the 4th. Everybody loves to get out and swim, boat, beach, all of that. But don't take your eyes off your kids. And it can take a rip current can pull an adult out just as fast, but at least you're supposed to have enough sense not to do it. But your kids are not aware of that. They're just playing. So the greatest mistake you could ever make with your kids, besides leaving them in a hot car, is unattended when you have this type of storm offshore. And if we back this out a little, you can see more about it. You've already got a lot of moisture in this area. I don't know how much you're getting ashore, possibly some around Hatteras, the Outer Banks here, light showers. But I think that's going to change. Now, one thing that's positive about what we're looking at here is that everything is moving following this rain pattern, right? That possibly could keep this thing completely offshore. Not sure yet. We're going to take a look at a couple other things. But definitely it's going to rake the coast. And it doesn't have to be right on it to you start getting the higher winds, you start getting the rip currents, things like that. Pretty nice size system up here in Texas right now. A lot of this is being fed from the Pacific side of Mexico. A lot of moisture being pushed up. You had Barry, then you had another hurricane there, and it's all feeding off this heat right here. So you guys in Texas, pay attention to this. It looks like it's going to move to the east. And what you're looking at here is high pressure. See how it's pushing everything offshore? And that's another reason this thing may not make that strong of an impact. It could come up and skirt the coast in this area. But everything looks like it's trying to keep it offshore right now. Now, not much is coming off of Africa. What you're seeing right here is a lot of Saharan dust layer in that cloud, and that really inhibits the development. You do have this system forming right here. Don't know what will happen, but usually when it's at this elevation, this far out, and you've got an easterly shear, this thing will pull up into the Atlantic, whatever happens to it. Right now, we're going to focus on this storm. And just another sign of strengthening for this storm here. This thing could become maybe a Cat 1. I don't know. Look at the feeder bands pulling in. It's going to pull in from South Florida all the way across the northern Bahamas and into the storm. A lot of feeder bands pulling into it. It looks like this thing's ready to go. We'll just see how the wind shear handles it. Now, for the last few days, they weren't really sure if this thing would form here in the northeastern Gulf of Mexico, onshore, or offshore. And we had a wide band, orange band through here. But now that's narrowed down because the storm is obvious. But we are dealing with a 60% chance of cyclone formation in 7 days. It says near the southeastern U.S., showers and thunderstorms have increased in association with an area of low pressure located about 100 miles off the northeast Florida coast. Environmental conditions are forecast to be marginally conducive for further development, and a short-lived tropical or subtropical depression could form late today or on Saturday while the system drifts northward. This low is expected to move inland over the southeastern U.S. Saturday night or early Sunday. So what they're saying is it is going to come ashore. So again, I always like to look at the maps, at satellite images before I read a lot of other information because it's easier for me that way to try to figure out what's going on. If this thing's going to skate the coast, that's what they're saying, then you prepare for that. Again, the low is expected to move inland over the southeastern U.S. Saturday night or early Sunday. Regardless of development, heavy rainfall is possible across portions of west central and southwestern Florida through early Saturday and across coastal sections of the Carolinas beginning later on Saturday. An Air Force Reserve hurricane hunter is scheduled to investigate the system later today, working on the 4th. Guys, they are always on top of it. Now, the tropical wind and rain impact map has changed somewhat. This was nowhere near this strong as far as getting into the red even just a day ago. But that red area covers much of South Carolina and North Carolina. Then your medium risk areas in the orange go all the way from central Florida up into really almost Virginia Beach right there. Then your yellow areas are, again, wider, but that impact risk is much less. So, guys, we're going to be watching this now. It's going into the 4th weekend. There will probably be, I guess, a few million people along that stretch that we're looking at on the East Coast that's in the tropical wind and watch areas. Excuse me. And I know a lot of people are so excited about going that they're not watching the weather. So you watch it, and if you got friends or families headed in that direction, a friendly phone call may go a long way, guys. The waters are very hot in that area. You got 87 degrees off the East Coast around Savannah, and that's plenty warm enough for any development. But again, it goes back to the nature of the way the Earth is designed to keep itself cool enough not to overheat, and that's the hurricanes and tropical systems are that mechanism. As we're watching a lot of things, I'm not sure what time Trump's going to sign the bill that may have already happened. We're going to take a look at that, and I've got something else I'm working on. So just keep your eyes open for updates, guys. It's a heads up. Be safe.